But I'm going to be advocating for myself real soon.
And they just, they don't know. I want to kiss pretty. They're all.
Yeah, they're off. Like,
Were they really all?
yes.
Like,
Secure has been a gift. I believe that Secure has been a gift from God. I remember being, I think it was like 2019, and I had just got my heart broken once again, and I posted a something on Facebook that said, "Stop trying to secure the bag insecure. Secure yourself, sis." And that post pretty much began the secure movement. Black women are majestic to me. Black women are just, I am just so enamored by black women. I love hearing black women share their stories because it gives me like hope. It makes me feel like, wow, I could do that too, sis. Like, if she has overcome heartbreak or disappointment, I could do that too. If she has started a business and it is very successful, I could do that too. If she has mother wounds or daddy issues and has healed, I can do that too. I think that that's just the power of storytelling. When a woman shares her story, it gives another woman permission to do the same. And I think that as black women, I've said it before, we are misunderstood, we are overlooked. Sometimes people just don't take us seriously. We are sometimes considered angry, right? And I feel like when we share who we really are through our stories, it brings unity. It brings clarity, and it saves us. And so black women's stories have saved my life in so many ways. And I'm excited to be in a space where I can provide a space for black women to do the same. You know, it's a domino effect. And so I know my life's work is tied to, it gotta be. I hope it is. I hope I'm not doing all this stuff and then this is not really what God has called me to do. But I believe that my life's work is tied to black women and providing them space to not only share their stories and secure themselves, but to edify other black women. If you want to define starting over, you're looking at it, honey. Oh, this right here is starting over. There's so much that I can share, but I won't because it's just not the right time. But sometimes starting over is, let me backtrack. Sometimes when you are having to start over, it may mean heartbreak. You're making a decision just to go with the flow of God, right? Everybody's starting over journey is different. This is mine. This is mine. You are looking at a woman who has gone through hell and back and is still deciding to show up in spite of the true feelings, right? And so this is starting over, and it's not easy. There are going to be moments when you're uncertain. There are going to be moments where you feel alone and you feel like God is not with you, but God is with you every step of the way. All of this is part of the process. Starting over can sometimes mean just grief. And so I'm grateful for what's to come. I'm grateful for what's to come because I believe that something better is on the other side. And that's all I got.
I will start over with you 1,000 times, friend.
No.
Thank you. So tell me about a time when you were given a second chance.
Well, there's many times that I could give you, but I'm gonna think of just one right now. Um, I was given a second chance when I was given a new kidney. My kidney had stopped working, and I was on dialysis, struggling to get my doctor's degree, and I just wasn't going to allow that to stop me. I continued on traveling with the dialysis. I did home dialysis. I couldn't see me in the clinic. I didn't want to look like those people when they came out.
Mm-hmm.
I dialysis at home, and everywhere I went, I loved them. Bags. Their bags full of the solution. There was about four of them, and I just did what I had to do.
I was given a second chance after incarceration. I served 3 years in federal prison. And after my release, I was afraid of transportation, housing, employment. But I've been home 6 years now. I've been on the same job for 6 years. I've obtained 3 degrees, and I'm currently in law school working on a fourth one. And just a second chance at life with my kids to share with my grandbaby family and friends. And I'm still striving and still, I'm an author and I'm just striving.
I love it. So you said that you came home and you had some challenges. Let's talk a little bit more about the things that impacted you from getting the bag, because we're in a time right now where as
Mm,
Black women, it's all about us securing ourselves financially. Most of the time when
yeah.
people are focused on securing themselves, they automatically go to the financial piece, right? So what were the things, the obstacles that impacted your ability just to get your bag?
Oh Lord, I had many, many challenges. I'm gonna name a few. I had I had family and friends to promise me help that did not fall through if I didn't do it their way. I had my employment didn't realize I was a felon. And once they realized I was a felon, and it was on the application, and I had told them in the interview, that automatically went out the door. Um, I did not have the support as far because I moved to Birmingham. I'm actually from Marion, Alabama. I did not move home. I had family and friends to talk against me, ask me why I didn't move home. I stayed in Birmingham, and I struggled like for the last 4 years of my 6 years after my release because everyone was like, move home, move home. Why are you in a whole nother city on your own trying to make it happen? But along the way, I lost family. I stopped talking to certain friends. Um, it's basically kind of like the new me today has kind of like it has made it seem like that I'm trying to secure the bag and just be above others, those who I left home, and because I'm this new person trying to be different, realizing what led me down the road to imprisonment. Like I just wanted to do a clean slate. I wanted to just start fresh, but I didn't understand all the challenges that was gonna come from family and friends. That was the most hurtful thing.
Love how you talked about how not having the right team affected your financial stability, because as Black women, sometimes just a lack of support really interferes with us securing the bag. Can you talk a little bit about your team, like what happened and how you were able to get back on track?
Well, when I went into the hospital, I had one strong team member. That was my daughter, and I would lay in that bed and I would instruct her what to do. But she didn't have any manpower, so she was kind of limited in what she could do and whatnot. Then the other team members, I don't know what happened to them. They just dispersed, and They were not in place the way I needed them to be. In fact, I was getting more support from strangers who saw me post on Facebook about me, having this kidney transplant. And I remember a young lady, she came all the way from across the water, her and her boyfriend, to just tell me, hey, look, these are some things you need to expect. So when she kind of gave me the things to expect and look out for, then I didn't have to concentrate so much on rebuilding. I just had to go and locate new team members. And I reached back in my past to the
Mhm.
people that what's the word I'm trying to say? The people that I bounced off of their thoughts, and we did projects together in college and stuff. So those are my real team members, and they are the ones who came all the way from New York, Philadelphia, and Delaware to help me put this thing back together.
Mm. I love it. I love how you touched on how it was strangers, right?
Yeah,
Because some of Black women's biggest supporters are not their friends and their family. Would you agree?
I would totally agree. I had now that you mentioned family, I had a sister who was incarcerated, and I talked so much about getting my business started, and I was supporting her in her, journey behind those walls. And she would write letters. When I get out, I'm gonna help you do this. I'm gonna help you do that. We gonna do this and do that. And I believed her. But when she got out, she became somebody I did not even recognize.
Mm.
As a direct result, I have no connection with her.
Why do you feel it's hard for family and friends to support you as you are trying to build something, whether it's a business, a brand, secure the bag? Why is it so hard for family and friends to support?
I think it's so hard because they know that you're cut from the same cloth as themselves, and they just can't see you at that level. They cannot see you getting ahead of them, so since they can't see it, they choose not to support. But I
Mm,
have so many outside sisters now, it doesn't matter. I don't
right.
need the biological ones. My two sisters they just recently passed in the last 2 years. They were semi supportive, but it was only for what they could get.
Mm.
And I'm just grateful to the great God that He has gave me extended sisters who are right there
I
with me every step of the way. You
I
included.
love that. I love it. And it's so important, just that sisterhood,
Yeah.
having a great circle of people. Who would you say are Black women's biggest supporters? Like, I know you talked about how you felt family and friends like disconnected from you. It, who supports us in your opinion? Who are our biggest supporters?
I'm just gonna be honest, and the biggest supporters came from strangers. I really hate to say it, but I felt it, I experienced it, I witnessed it along the way, and like I just had so many strangers. Once I started wearing my logo on my shirt, when I see somebody in the grocery line or in a in a store at my job, when I saw so many people going through things. I just started talking to them and they be like, wait a minute, I needed this answer. So then that's when I open up and tell them my journey. And then that's when they are like, oh, I can help you do this and I can help you do that. And I know this person. And I'm talking about it was the people that didn't know me. It was the strangers, people on my job, people in the street at the grocery store. They were my biggest supporters when I first got home. My family and friends did not really start opening up until they seen that their bag was about to get secured or was like at least halfway. So now, like, I have so many people supporting me and behind me, and it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Why do you feel like it's easier for strangers to support Black women than the people that know us?
It is so easy for a stranger to support you because they have no history of your past. So the judgment is not like the family and friends that saw you coming up and are coming along the way, and then they want to throw this up when you did this, how you did it, why you did it, and when you did it. Okay, all that's over now. I'm back. I'm here. I'm new. I'm redeemed. So I feel like strangers, because they don't have anything on your past to judge you about, and they have family and friends who've gone through the same thing. So even if they did judge others in the past, they now know because they've experienced it or seen it throughout life. So
I
that's
love it.
it.
I love it. Strangers have definitely, I can relate. Strangers have definitely
Yes.
been in my corner,
Yes.
and we need more support from the people that know us though. But I love how
Yes.
you are not allowing that,
To stop
not
you.
having the support of your family and your friends to stop you, right?
Yes.
It's
No,
like, how did you,
I'm
even
not.
though that was an obstacle, like if someone's listening to you right now and they are upset about not having their family and friends to support them, like what are some things that you had to put into place to help you get over that? Because they're more times than not, they're not.
The number one thing that I put in place was, when I make it, I don't owe you anything. I
Mhm.
won't feel guilty, and I won't feel obligated. Like, if you didn't help me when I needed the help, when I asked for the help, or either just volunteer when you saw me, when you saw this happen, when you saw that happen, why didn't you come along and volunteer? Like, I'm literally sitting up here seeing y'all. I don't mean, I mean it what I'm about to say, but I'm literally sitting up here seeing y'all help people that are helpless, that are hopelessness. And I'm up here trying, I'm striving, but you still rather go over this way and help those who aren't trying and who aren't striving, because you feel, because they aren't in this space, that they need the help. And because I'm trying, and now I done got this, I done obtained that, so I don't need the help, or I shouldn't need the help.
Do you feel like some of it is some jealousy?
I feel like lots of it was jealousy, and I feel like it was competition. I feel like because I'm an author, and because I'm a speaker, and because I got back in school to try to get education, because I realize now that I'm a felon, education has to be number one in my corner to back me up and in my background. So I feel like it was a lot of competition and jealousy, because you didn't make it. You didn't want me to make it before you. Oh,
Mm,
it's several that know I'm going to make it, and
mhm,
they know I'm doing everything in my power to do what it takes. Even I take losses. I've gone to book signings and didn't make not $1. I've gone to
mm.
book signings and made $30. I've gone to book signings and made 1,500. But it's just that because they're doing this and I'm doing that, like, they don't want me to make it before them.
Mm,
I don't know if somebody saw my recent post on social media with a gentleman, but
mhm.
my saying was still what did I say? Still can't think of it now. Still strengthens steel, or
Mm.
iron, no, steel sharpens steel, as well as iron sharpens iron.
Right.
And what made me say that was the fact that, we're supposed to be in this thing supporting each other, be having each other's backs and stuff as women.
Mhm.
And when I see women don't do that, I just don't want to be bothered with you,
Right.
because I, I I can't relate to you.
Right.
I'm all about helping sisters. It's funny that you're talking about this. I've had a little complication in the recent months with my surgery on my back and my spine. And I normally provide housing in the community. I feed the community. I advocate for their rights and whatnot. And so I've been having younger women, 30s, 20s, reaching out to me. Hey, Miss Dr. Lawson, will you sit on my board so you can give us some good advice, and I will, because I believe that it's enough for everybody to eat. We don't have to be selfish and withhold information that will help somebody else better their endeavors. I'm just very adamant about helping other sisters. That's important to me.
You not allowing the obstacles to keep you from moving forward. Like
Oh
people
no.
need to realize that. Like there's gonna be
Mm,
obstacles, but you're not
yeah.
allowing people not supporting you to keep you from getting your bag. Because
And
we
I'm
financially
also
stable. Go ahead.
And I'm also not blaming them. I mean, when I make it, whatever I want to do for them or whatever I would have done for them had they started out helping me, I'm not gonna blame them and put this, I'm not gonna make it a priority to be very revenge. You
Right.
know, I've had to realize that, I put my own self in this situation and they're not obligated to help me, but it's just a lot of felons coming out of prison. I mean, we have to have the support. The only way I can see somebody walking out of those gates and jumping back in the grind mode is those who had things left behind.
Mm.
That's the only way I can see them, or those who have had support systems and they understood. And some of them got support systems that's expecting stuff off of that too. They're expecting stuff from them, so they already know to jump in and help. So
Because I mean, your story is phenomenal. People who have read the book and have heard this, like read about your background, what you've been able to build is absolutely phenomenal. And just the financial security going from one thing to the other. What would you say that Black women need in order to really build a strong business and get that financial security?
Well, you need to have your ducks in order. That's the first thing, meaning your paperwork. Whatever business you got to fit the criteria of what state you're in. Otherwise, you're going to get, you could start operating and then, let's say in the middle of you operating 5 years down the line, they become, well, you didn't do this and do that. We got to shut you down. We don't have
Mm.
time for that. So we follow the structure. And along with, you need to build you a network with people all across the world. I network with people over in Africa just to get thoughts and ideas across. My little one mind can't think of everything, so you need a strong network. And then you need people that's going to support you, even if you have to go outside of your original family to find them. Those are the things that has helped me be successful. If it was not for my girlfriend, Cynthia Townsend, up in Philadelphia, and when I started feeling low, she started talking that she starts filling my cup back up. And then I realized, hey, I got to go to up north to get filled up because it's draining. People would drain you. So you need all these things to become financially stable, I believe, along with some other things that you can add for yourself. But the things that I name, they are a must.
number one, as much as you can do for yourself and on your own, do it. Stop depending on others. Unless you on at rock bottom and have no other way out, like there are several sources. I'm a felon. I always was scared and thought that there was no resources out there for me. Well, guess what? I found several resources. There are several jobs that are job friendly now. Even if you've hurt somebody in the past, go back and make it right. Go back and apologize. Make it right. They may not accept you, but your blessing is gonna come from above. Just continue to do the right thing, job, transportation wise. Like if you gotta walk to work, walk. If you got to call a friend, call a friend. I mean, just as much as you can do it on your own, I would say go that route. And then when you're about to, you know, be at your lowest, which if we're starting from rock bottom, we're already at our lowest. So how low can we go? As long as you wake up each day, just do something different. Don't do the same thing you did yesterday. Just find different things. that you can do differently from what you did yesterday that can take you along the way.
This angle.
Right.
That's why I want you to zoom in because once you hit record, it's going to crop. So just keep it right there as long as that's still going, and then you'll see a thing that comes up, and that's your timer right there. There in.
So, you know, women are so focused on just to securing the bag, girl. I know what my bag is.
Right.
What is your bag? Like, what is the thing that has you motivated? You know, is bringing the coins in and stuff like that.
So, to be honest with you, it's so crazy because 2 years ago, I talked about security being time. Not really like a bag, you know, not really like making money. It was just making enough money that I could work, but have more time for my kids. So that's why I like working for myself. As an entrepreneur, working at Bare Body, and that's my first baby, is Bare Body. And so there I can do appointments, buy appointments. I can do just enough to cover my bills, make sure my kids are fed, and still have a lot of time to spend with them. So originally that was the main priority, was time. And so 2 years ahead now, right? I've been spending more time in both businesses. So it's like I have less time. And it's crazy because, you know, with businesses, it's up and down and up and down and up and down. So before, where I was more flourishing in one, it took a turn where it's like I wasn't getting as many appointments. I wasn't. And so now the finances were going down. And I'm spending more time here. So things are going up here, but down there. And so it's been really a tussle because my love and my passion is Bare Body. I love here, don't get me wrong. But my focus is now building that bag back up and putting my attention toward that. And here, this is me and my sisters. So they're spending more time here. And now I'm focusing more on Bare Body. But my thoughts of security now is more family, because I realized that I've never been afraid to fail. And the reason why I've never been afraid to fail is because I told my dad, you worry about me and my finances more than I do. I feel like if I lost it all, I would take my kids and move back home with you. So I have no problem doing that, you know, like, I'm
Does
sure
he have a problem
he has
with
no
that?
problem
Okay.
doing that. So he's like, you can come on in here. And then my mom might feel differently because she's used to her quiet time now. And that's something she's deserving of because she's raised all of us her whole life. So I'm sure she doesn't want me interrupting her space. But I am very much comfortable packing it all up and going home if I need to. So I've just never had that fear when it came to failing at something, because I knew I had
A backup plan.
that support system and that backup. Even my sisters. So, like, security right now is my family.
It's your family.
Yeah.
It's your family. How do you find? Well, first, I'm gonna go back because when you were talking about your mama. I feel that. Because my kids are grown.
Right.
I've been mom since 19.
Right.
And it's like, I love my kids. I
Right.
really do. But I also want to have my time.
Right.
I feel like I have, we're thinking about talking about second chances. I feel like this is an opportunity, my new life for me. I can find out who Amanda is without having to be a caregiver, a wife, a mama. You know, when I'm with my kids, I am what I say. I said, I'm not parenting you. I'm more of a trusted advisor.
Okay. I like that.
A trusted advisor. So I can give you the wisdom, but at the end of the day, you make your own decisions.
Right.
I have to be okay with that.
Right.
Right. So like your mom, I want my time.
Right.
I want my space.
Right.
If my kids come and stay with me, will I be okay? Yes and no.
Yes, right.
Because I feel like I'm having to give up something. I'm having to give up peace or something like that, you know?
Right.
So I get both hands. Not everybody has what you have. That's a blessing.
Yes, it is.
That you can
I have
pick
found.
up.
Yes.
Pick up and go. You can pick up and
Yes.
there's so many challenges that come along with being an entrepreneur, being a business owner. You
Right.
have two businesses.
Yes.
And you did talk about time and you know how important that is. Do you find okay, let's go back to like some of the challenges. Why do you feel like Beer Body, that's your baby. Why do you feel like it's been a struggle with, you know, getting more appointments and everything like that? We talk about women, like we are all about our self-care and stuff like that, and you provide that. Why do you feel like it's a struggle now?
So I feel like Bare Body is not, if people don't know what that is, it's, I do massage, facials, hair removal, you know. And yeah, that is definitely, when it comes to the beauty industry, it's $1 billion business. And, but I don't think, because I cater to more Black women, my clientele is 90, I would say 95% African American women. And I love that. But when growing up, we're taught to get our hair done every 2 weeks, you know. We're taught to maintain our hair. We're even taught to maintain our nails and our feet. But, you know, we're also taught that Black doesn't crack. So skincare is not at the forefront when it comes to African Americans. Now, it's getting there, where more people are starting to be conscious about their skin, and more people are starting to trying to figure out what can I do with my skin to make it better. You know, we are aging slowly, which is beautiful. And so a lot of people feel like skincare is more luxury based and not really a necessity. And so, and the same thing with hair removal. We're getting waxed when there's a special event going on. You know, we are, or if it's summertime, you know, I can get them on the regular during the summer, but not all year round, you know?
I can agree with that. Because I'd be like, oh, no, it's winter. I don't need to do
you don't need it. It's like, okay,
do
it's just like how guys grow out their beards from November. It's like, okay, I can just grow my leg hair out, or I can just shave through the winter. And then when I'm starting to go to Cabo and all these other places, like now I can get these services done. And so, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I don't attribute my lack of appointment bookings due to them, just my clients or new clients that, you know, whatever. I attribute it to as just becoming a new mom. And so where at first it's like I had it, like I had the time, I'm answering calls, I'm, you know, doing all of that, to now I'm just tired all the time. Like it just go through a moment, you're like just tired all the time, you don't feel like picking up the phone, you don't feel like, you know, going in, or then you do feel like it because you want that conversation. Like I literally will talk my clients' head off, you know, like literally, like you have been my client. So, you know, we talk about like everything. Real life things. We talk about everything. I love that. I feel like that is my time to, you know, just have adult time almost. And it's almost, that's how I carry it, you know. And so, you know, it was a lot of inconsistencies that I was having just because I was tired. And I was like, you know, I just didn't have the energy to put in my business. And so everything started slowing down and digressing. My marketing was digressing. My posting on social media was digressing. Everything was just digressing. Like, you know, like nothing was. And so now I'm at a point where my kids are doing good. They're 2 and 3. You know, they're self-sufficient to a, you know, a little, you know, like it's where, you know, I don't have to carry both of them to the car and put them in car seats, and you know, like I don't have to do all of that stuff. I feel like we can move a little faster in the mornings. And so now I have just a little more energy that I'm starting to put towards my businesses now, and wanting to see the growth and hoping that my clients are like, they just haven't abandoned me fully and gone elsewhere. So it's my, you know, it's my lack of, what's the word? Focus? Maybe it's a lack of focus too. And because I have multiple businesses, it's like I can't put 100% into either one.
Right.
And so that's why it's very hard to see the growth that I want to see, you know. But I will say it's never really been about the money for me. It was always about time for me.
Got it.
You know, so, and if that was, you know, but now it's starting to become more about money, right? Because I have kids. Okay. Oh, I don't hit this. But like now it's starting to become like, okay, like I need to bring in more because now I have kids.
Right.
Where at first I was just taking care of myself.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, you have
That's a
two
change.
boys to take care. I am a single mom. You know, me and their father, we're not together. And so it has been like a lot of responsibility that has now kind of fell in my lap. And so it's like, now it's like, okay, I gotta get it, you know? And so, yeah.
I'm glad you said that because it's always been about the money for me.
Right.
And the reason why is because I've had 2 kids to take
Right.
care of.
Right.
So securing the bag, making sure that I can, you know, make sure they're good, make sure that I'm growing and, you know, being successful, that has always been at the forefront, right? Now that my kids are older,
Right.
I'm like, I want my time back.
Yes.
To the point where I can say, okay, I'm gonna take a break from this business.
Right.
Because I am tired.
Right.
I'm tired, but I don't have any children that I'm taking care of.
Right, exactly.
But I'm tired of the hustling.
Right, yes.
You know? And we don't talk enough about the cycles, the journeys that we all go through just as women. Like, we're not always, there does come a time where you're like, I just need a little bit more softness. And if that means that I need to get rid of something or, you know, some expense so that I no longer have to hustle like this, I'm willing to do that. We're all these different stages. I feel like when we're younger, you know, our early 20s or maybe even 30s, we're just on our grind so much. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, seriously.
We're on our grind, and certain aspects impact that grind, like having kids.
Right.
Because kids are expensive.
They're expensive. And my 2, they eat like they're teenagers. And I'm like, you're only 2 and 3, so I can imagine.
You got boys.
Yeah, I have boys. And so, and they require a lot of attention from me, you know. So I want to give them that attention. I want to give them that time. But also, they're going to eat me out of house and home. So, like, I got to take care of them, too. And so, but yeah, things have shifted. Like, it is funny because, you know, like I said, before them, I had a lot of time. Now I don't have as much time.
Right.
And where I do want to spend and allocate my time to them, it's like I now need to provide more for them.
Right.
You know, and I definitely like, you talk about like this soft life, it's like, you know, it's like, that's what I want. Yeah, I grew up with my mom and dad. My dad was like head of the household. You know, he provided, he, you know, went to work every day. And my mom still went to work, but it was because she wants her own money.
Right.
You know, even today, she wants her own money. Like, she works because she'll be bored at home. And, you know, she wants to have her own money. She doesn't want to have to ask him for anything.
I agree with that.
And so,
to a certain extent.
extent.
After all the years.
Yes.
But we can come back to that.
Yes. But, I mean, but, you know, and it's like, oh, that's amazing. That sounds so nice. And I just have that perfect example. But, you know, that's not something that, like, I have, you know. And so it's different. So even when I tell my mom and dad, like, oh, you guys worry so much about us, it's okay. Like, we know, like I said, I know I can come back. And he was just like, yeah, I think it's because when we were raising you all, we had each other, though. And that's a big difference to seeing your daughters like doing it by themselves, and you always had your partner there. They've been married for over 40 years.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
like always having that support,
Right.
you know, there. And it was easier, I think, definitely when me and my kid's father and I were together. We weren't happy for a long time. But it was still like I can go to work and leave my kids there. You know?
Right, exactly.
Like,
You don't have to worry about
and
daycare
right, I don't
and
have to
stuff
worry
like
about taking them
that.
places and hauling them with me and everything like that. But you know, now it's a lot harder. So, but I am still grateful in this moment though, because I have adjusted. You know, I have been able to rely, because everything in my life I've been able to do for myself. And so I never felt like I ever needed anybody. And so now I was at the season, like I went through therapy, everything. And it was so funny. It was this moment where my kids were crying and I was in a therapy session. I was over Zoom and my sister came in and she was like, do you want me to take them? And I was like, no, I'm fine. And my therapist was like, did somebody just come in and offer you to help you? And you said no? And she was like, why did you do that? And I was just like, well, because they want me. Like, they are crying because they want to be with me. She said, go get your sister and tell her to get your kids. And I was like, okay. I went and I told my sister, I was like, here you go. Like, and she told me to give them to you. And she was just like, I was going to say, how the heck are you going to have a therapy session? And holding both your babies, they're crying, you know, like, and she was just like, you have a hard time accepting help.
Yeah.
And
Same.
and I was like, I never realized, because I always felt like I had this mentality where I can do it. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna do it. And honestly, like that session opened my eyes up so much, and I almost felt like I was able to free myself, because anytime somebody offered me help, I said yes after that.
Yeah.
I was like, here, take them.
That's a blessing.
To give it, you know, you want to keep my kids? Go ahead and keep them. Like, you want to do this? Go ahead and do it. And I felt so much more at peace and, you know, just happier, because I wasn't even feeling, I was in therapy because I was going through postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I was crying every day, like everything was just falling apart.
All while having a business.
All while having
businesses.
And it was the worst, like, part of my life.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's okay.
so I learned that I have to accept help when it comes to every aspect of my life.
Right.
Even when it comes to my businesses, because it's like, okay, you can't do this on your own. And so it's like you have to delegate tasks. And I found my sister was like, hey, I can do it, just tell me what to do. And I'm like, well, you don't know what to do, I'll just do it. And she's like, show me how to do it so that I can do it, and you don't have to do it. And so it was like, oh wow, I have literally been having to like sit with myself and realize like, okay, you're not like, I feel like we all want to be, or it was something great to feel like Superwoman.
Yes, it was.
Right? And it's like, you're not Superwoman.
You were not Superwoman.
And that's a fictional character.
Right.
And, you know, that's not something that anyone should aspire to
It's not
be.
realistic, and it's not healthy.
And it's not healthy.
And I feel like Black women, in particularly, we have been conditioned to believe that.
Right.
And we have that Superwoman label.
Right.
Like it makes us all that. Like
Right.
we're everything.
Exactly.
But we are like killing ourselves softly, not asking for help. Oh, I get it. That's my struggle too.
Right.
But we can't say that we want the soft life, or we want this and we want that, without reaching out to our community.
Right.
And I feel like that's a struggle for just Black women. For
Yeah.
one, we don't trust each other. We have a hard time just with trust and letting go.
Right.
And it's so important for us to release so that we can get what's next. Like, you gotta make room.
Right.
And we have a hard time with that. you have, shared so much about just the challenges that you've endured while securing the bag.
Yes.
Like postpartum depression and, you know, going through a breakup and things like that. Do you mind if I ask more about, just how did you, all right, so you're a mother of two, and you are co-parenting,
Yes.
right? And running the businesses.
Yeah.
How does the co-parenting, how is that? Is it helpful for, your journey of security, or do you feel like it's a challenge?
So, I feel like it's getting better.
Okay, that's real.
So where at first, I think anyone experiences when you first split from your partner and you feel like they have so much time for themselves.
Yeah.
When you're like the majority caregiver, they're with you 24/7, and and you feel like, but then he comes in and has an attitude about something, or he, is upset about something. But it's not to, it took understanding from me, for him,
Okay.
and him, because we've gotten in so many arguments, we've gotten in so many fights, we've gotten in never physical or anything like that, but just arguments. And I literally had to sit and think like how hard it is for me to take care of my kids by myself. It is just as hard for him to not being able to see his babies every day.
Yeah.
And so once I started looking at it from like his perspective and trying to be more understanding, I felt like we could move forward and get in a better place. And so, while he is still working hard because he does financially give me things for them, and he's trying to get a good place for himself to, be able to have them on weekends or every other weekends, but it's still like a process, And so it takes just understanding. Like, so I have to really understand. And it's hard because I'm like, even though I'm trying to always like, see his point of view in things, I still need him to see mine.
Exactly.
And sometimes I just need a break.
Yeah.
And I need you to still get them every, I don't even like every other weekend. Anytime you think about them and you want to get them, I need you to get them.
So reach out.
So reach out, So, but it's been getting better. Where at first it was very difficult. But he's still, if I have to work on the weekends and he's available, he still gets them for me, and so that I can go to work. And so I don't think it's been the worst process.
Okay.
But I think, we've had bad days, and it's getting better.
Getting better.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like we're just gonna have bad days in these relationships we choose. When relationships end, it's important for us to realize that the opposition is going to happen. There's going to be moments where we are just at odds, and then there's going to be moments where you reach understanding and acceptance. And I feel like communication is just so important. A lot of times, and I like earlier you were talking about going to therapy. And I feel like when you're going to therapy and you're really doing the work, you can get to the point where there's understanding and acceptance, and you're not lashing out because, you know what, I'm tired and you're not here, and I shouldn't have to do all this stuff on my own. You just get to the point where you're like, you know what, I accept, but these are my boundaries, and this is what I need.
Yeah.
Not taking anything personally, and not every Black woman is there, especially when there's a lot that they're carrying, supporting a household and taking care of kids by themselves. That's a lot. Well,
I feel like something that I think that Black women are genuine support. And the reason why I say genuine support is because we get a lot of Black women in here, and it's like, well, I'm buying because it's a Black-owned business, and but they say it, you know, it's not like, you know, or or oh, your prices are this is like Nordstrom prices, or this is like, you know, and where they don't see all of the work and effort we put into it, and quality vendors we're trying to reach out to, and wanting, and also they don't know our target audience either. So, but I would say genuine support, where it's because they're, and to be in the forefront, right? Like, where if someone of high status has a business, everyone shares it, not even knowing them, not even, you know, knowing any type of background or anything like that, where it's very hard to even get people to share your business when you're a small business.
It is.
And we don't even ask you to purchase, just share it, tell it friends. We get a lot of people who, I mean, we love them because some of them are our clients or customers, where they've found a good thing, but they don't want to share it with others. This is so nice.
Yes.
I love your store. I don't want nobody shopping here because
else.
I don't want them to know where I get my stuff from.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been guilty of that at times too. Oh yeah, I got this from. Oh, I know I should share.
Share.
But it's the thing where you're like, I don't want to look like nobody else, and I don't want them to have the same things that I got.
See, the thing is, though, we don't have a high quantity.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
We don't have, it's not like Forever 21 or Fashion Nova, where they get a bulk of every item. We have probably 2 or 3 items in every size. And so, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, no one's going to have what you have, and you're not going to even run into them, right? And so, genuine support looks like, to me, people who are excited for you, who want to share your business, who are not trying to just say, I supported a Black business this month. That can come from any race, not just Black. But, and who want to continue to do business with you. You know, not a one and done. So they need genuine and continued support.
I agree.
And so, and it's just like, you know, going to Anthropologie or shopping online, or, you know, like, where you're always going in there to see like what's coming, what's new, or what sales they have, or what, you know. So I think that's what I feel like they would need.
Got it. So as you're thinking about Black women and all the young Black women who want to get started in both of your industries, right? What is something that you would say that is going to motivate them, encourage them to keep going regardless of, you know, the unknown, as well as, this question is twofold, like someone who's just getting started, but also think about someone who has bankrupted a business. They want to start over.
Right.
But they don't know how. They have so many challenges. How would you encourage these women who are going through these things and want to be a part of your industry?
I would say do your research, because I don't mind talking to people. Like, I know like a lot of young and people my age or older come in, they ask, hey, where do you get your stuff from, or where do you, you know, how did you, you know, start, or whatever. And I'll talk to them about it, but a lot of the things that I tell them they can Google.
Google, right.
You know,
Mhm.
like, and so, but I talk to them, engage them almost as like, have you done your research?
Mhm.
And so if I'm naming stuff and you don't know what I'm talking about, I feel like you haven't even, you just came to me, you haven't even done your own research.
Mhm.
And so, and it's like a starter thing because, like I said, anything I tell them, they can Google. And so I feel like once they get serious enough to research all of the ins and outs, then I think that's when they'll become more successful. And if you're bankrupt and you're starting over, I would say go through your database, go through your numbers, your profit and losses, see what was working, see what wasn't working. That's something like we have to do
Yeah.
at the end of like every year when we join our profit and losses form. We're like, oh wow, this did really good, but this didn't. Or, you know, well, maybe we should shop more with this vendor and bring it in. And then, you know what, it's like really like up in the air thing because then the next time that one might not do as well,
Right,
you know, but then
right.
something else does. But we found that we were always like a year ahead.
Wow.
So we found like a lot of things we got in 2019 sold in 2020.
Wow.
A lot of the things that we got in 2020 sold in 2021. It wasn't based off of sales or anything like that. It was just like people were looking at the things that, you know, the things that we got
Right.
current is like, and so
So
it's,
patience is necessary.
patience is very necessary.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would say talking to, I think once you're in the business, I feel like people are not as reluctant to talk to you when you're not in the business already. But when you're in the business, talking to other business owners, and that could be a good or bad thing. People,
Yeah,
you know,
right,
I don't know.
right.
But I feel like when people see that you're already putting in the work, they're more willing and inclined to help you.
Right.
And so we've gotten so much help just from talking to other business owners too, where they're like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, oh, why aren't you posting every day? Or why is your website like this? Or why are you using this template? I'm like, a template? Like, you know, like
Right.
little things that it's like you feel like it's not a big deal, but it's like your page has to pop, you know,
Right.
you know. And so even to the templates, but I feel like, did I answer your question? Or did I
Yeah,
answer it?
yeah, girl, you did. I am just amazed by you. I want to say that. I'm amazed by you. I have been connected to you for quite some time, and I have seen you build and grow, and I've seen you go through some challenges, and you are sitting across from me just shining, and you inspire me. Like, when I say that I'm passionate about just being connected to women who I know have gone through stuff, it has not been like, what's the word, peachy king or sparkles and
Right,
rainbows and
right.
things like that. This journey is difficult, but we
Right.
always come back on top,
Right.
right? Always come back on top. Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts? Anything that you can share that is going to encourage someone to trust that they're going to get back on top?
I think that you have to first believe it, and then you have to make the necessary changes to see it happen, you know. So for me, that's why I told you to go on my Instagram and look at my thing. Like, because I said to myself, I see a surge of new clients coming in. But then I looked at my space and I wasn't happy with it.
Got it.
And I was like, if I have a surge of new clients, do I want them to come in and see this space? Or do I want them to come and see an upgraded space?
Oh, that's
Or, you know, a nice, you know, and so I just started moving things around. I started painting. I started just doing everything because in my mind, if I want the people to come, this is not what I want them to see. I want them to see something new. I want them to see something upgraded. I want them to see something luxurious. You know, I want them to see everything I feel like my brand represents. So if you feel like what you have, your brand doesn't represent, then it's time that you go and upgrade it. And it doesn't always require a lot of money. The new paint that I have on my wall, I found it on the discount shelf at Lowe's for $7.
Ooh.
And I
That was
pay,
a
and
good
somebody else's somebody else's trash,
Yes.
which my client said, somebody else's trash is always somebody else's treasure.
Right.
They didn't like the color. When I saw it, I loved the color.
Right.
And I painted all of my walls in my treatment room with it. And then I did my wall mural, and I did it all with paint, and it took time, but I spent less than $100 just doing it and moving things around, and my space looks completely different. And my clients noticed when they came in, and they felt good. Because in a way, you're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for them.
Right.
So you're making changes. If you're not making changes, then you're just kind of just wanting to stay where you are.
Right.
So if that's important to you to keep growing, and then you're always going to have to make changes.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Change is necessary.
It is.
And
It's scary.
it's scary.
And
It's scary.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. But we can do it afraid. We
Yeah.
can do hard things. And
Yeah.
I am just excited for what I know is going to come on the other side of change.
Mm-hmm.
So excited for it because I know greater is coming.
Yes.
For us both.
Yes.
For us both.
Mhm.
And so, a lot can happen in a year. A lot can happen in 5 years.
As we know.
As
As we As we know.
But we're still here to tell the story.
Yes.
And that's it. It's all about our stories.
Mm-hmm.
And our stories, I believe, change lives.
Yeah.
And I'm standing on it, 10 toes down. That's what they say.
Right. 10 toes down.
Flat-footed.
Yeah. I've never heard of the flat-footed
Yes,
thing, but that's
flat-footed, 10 toes down.
okay. But they always have to update me because I don't keep up with it.
10 toes, that's the new thing. Change is necessary,
Yeah.
and something amazing is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Who told me to do this? Like, seriously. I feel like I can finally release 2 years. Wow. I'm like at a loss of words right now because when I first started this journey, I had this big vision and I thought like, oh yeah, it's gonna be so simple and I could get it done and with no obstacles in the way. And it took 2 years for this thing to come to pass, and here we are, secure. If you were to ask me, do I feel secure? I would say most days. Most days I feel like, yeah, I got it. And then, like I've been telling women throughout this whole series, it is a continuous journey. So how do you feel, Amanda? I feel accomplished. I feel excited about what's next. But if I can be honest, I am exhausted. And I think that that's just normal. That's what happens when you are doing something that you know that you were created to do. And so I'm hoping that me saying that I feel exhausted, that does not deter any woman from really going after the life that you know, like walking in your gift and going after the life that you know that you're supposed to be doing. I'm hoping that doesn't deter you, but I'm exhausted. And not because this wasn't an amazing project, but I'm exhausted because I gave it my all. And if I can be honest, I never expected to endure all the things that I endured to ensure that this project came to fruition. 2 years. And I keep saying 2 years, but there's a lot happened in 2 years. I had loss in 2 years. I had, of course, achievement in 2 years. I learned a lot about myself in 2 years. I learned what it means to really be secure in 2 years. So can I honestly say that I've arrived? No. I haven't arrived. I'm just getting started. But I thank every single person for just joining me on this ride as we talked about physical security, as we talked about emotional security, as we talked about spiritual and financial security, as we talked about mental security. I've had women come into my inbox and tell me just how impactful this docuseries, this movement has been. And so I just thank you for just saying yes. To the women who shared their stories, who were vulnerable, I thank you for saying yes, because I know it wasn't easy. But we're here. We made it. And this is just the beginning. Just the beginning. So I hope that you've taken something away from all the stories from the women who shared. I hope that this docuseries encourages you to get out the boat. You know that you're supposed to be doing something. And you got to do it afraid, do it afraid. Don't allow what you see, what you feel, what you hear to keep you from walking in boldness. Don't allow insecurity to keep you from taking the first step that's going to change someone's life. Your stories matter. Your stories matter. And they deserve to be shared. So share it, sis. Share it with boldness. Share it with power. Share it with fear. If you have to, share with insecurity. But no matter what, don't allow anybody to tell you that your words and that your stories don't matter. Secure yourself, sis. We're out. That's it.
I'ma do it afraid. Still happy. Just gonna do it anyway. Pushing past my fears. Gonna step out on faith. Yeah, I won't let it keep me from trying. Won't let the world. My imperfections took all my focus. I would forget what I was. Now I'm looking past my distractions, 'cause there's something greater waiting on the other side. I'ma do it afraid. Still have fear. Just gonna do it anyway. Pushing past my fears. Gonna step out on faith. Yeah, I won't let it keep me from trying. Won't let the world keep from flying. I'ma do it afraid. I had to stop and ask this question. Will I continue the cycle of regret? God, you're gonna have to take me by the hand. Show me that you're here and that you won't let me fail. I'm gonna do it afraid. Just gonna do it anyway. Said I'm